Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity Orlando. Our opening statement this morning is, "It is not I, but the Spirit within that does the work through me." Let's all affirm that together. It is not I, but the Spirit within that does the work through me. All right, let's all close our eyes and take a nice deep breath in. And let's affirm that together in the silence. And so it is. And now if you'd like to stand and help us sing our joy song this morning, it's called Spirit Invitation. Spirit, see through me now, hear through me now, and speak through me. Spirit, be with me now, be right here now, and comfort me. Spirit, place, be in my space and comfort me. Spirit, feel through me now. I feel you now. We are one. Spirit, see through me now, hear through me now, and speak through me. Spirit, be with me now, be right here now, and comfort me. Spirit, be in this place, be in my space and comfort me. Spirit, feel through me now. I feel you now. We are one. Be right here now and comfort me. Be right here now. We are one. All right, thank you. You may be seated.
Good morning, Unity Orlando. How is everybody today? I don't see any visitors, so we're all family. Welcome. I have some announcements. I'm Susan Francis, your platform speaker today. For those who are at home watching online, you can find the downloadable notes on our website from today's lesson at unityorlando.org. And go to the services page and tap on the lesson notes picture, and you can download them there. For those who are here, you're not left out. Just grab a bulletin and that's there. You can bring non-perishable food items for the food drive either Sunday morning or Tuesday from 10 to 3. Also, midweek prayer and meditation with Rev Ronnie and myself is on Facebook the first and third Wednesday at 4:30, and then it's kept online through Facebook and our website. And I believe, if my calculation is right, that's this coming Wednesday. It'll be will be up there. Also, Navigating A Course in Miracles with Rev Ronnie and Paul Kenney meet by Zoom each Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. If you're interested in attending, even if you've never been, email Ronnie and she can send you a link. Her email address is on the website. Also, Unity Men's Group meets every Wednesday at 4 p.m. at Starbucks located on the corner of 436 and Howe Branch in Winter Park. And they meet on the third Sunday of each month in the courtyard classroom. And Mark is here today if anybody has questions here in person. The Soul Group meets the fourth Friday of the month in Meyer Hall. And then, last but not least, Reverend Lulu is starting a new Zoom book class called Finding Yourself in Transition. The book is written by Robert Brummett. It will begin Wednesday, September 7th at 7 p.m. Here's a flyer, and they'll be on the Facebook page, and also you can get one of the information sheets in the back there. Let's see, Reverend Ronnie's lesson this morning is free fall. But of course, before I turn it over to Brian, I have a little story to tell you. Bear with me, it's a little long. It's good though. So Forrest Gump, remember Forrest Gump? He died and went to heaven. And at the gates, he met with St. Peter. As Forrest approached the gates, he noticed that they were closed. And so when he walked up there, St. Peter said, "Well, Forrest, it's certainly good to see you. We have heard a lot about you. I must tell you, though, that the place is filling up fast, and now we have an entrance exam for everyone." St. Peter said, "So the test is short, but you have to pass it before you can go to heaven." "Well, it sure is good to be here, St. Peter, sir," Forrest said, "but nobody ever told me about any entrance exam. Sure hope the test ain't too hard. Life's been a big enough test already." St. Peter said, "Yes, I know, Forrest, but the test is only 3 questions. Number 1, what 2 days of the week begin with the letter T? Number 2, how many seconds are there in a year? And number 3, what is God's first name?" Forrest told him, "Well, the first one, which 2 days of the week begin with the letter T? Shucks, that one's easy. That'll be today and tomorrow." St. Peter looked shocked. "Forrest, that's not what I was thinking, but you do have a point, and I guess I didn't specify, so I'll give you credit for that answer. How about the next one? How many seconds in a year?" "Now that one's harder," said Forrest, "but I thunk and I thunk about it, and I guess the only answer can be 12. 12? 12, a stunned St. Peter said. "Forrest, how in heaven's name could you come up with 12 seconds in a year?" "Shucks, that's got to be 12 because you got January 2nd, February 2nd, March 2nd. "Hold it," said St. Peter. "I see where you're going with this, and I see your point, though that wasn't quite what I had in mind. But I'll give you credit for that one, too. Let's go to the third and final question. What is God's first name?" "Sure," Forrest said. "It's Andy." "Andy," exclaimed St. Peter. "Okay, I can understand how you came up with your answers to my first 2 questions, but just how in the world did you come up with the name Andy as the first name of God?" "Shucks, that was easiest of all," Forrest replied. "I learnt from the song, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I'm his own." Well, at that, St. Peter opened the gates to heaven and said, "Run, Forrest, run." So without further ado, back over to Brian.
That is our continuing joke, usually on Easter morning. You know, it's the Andy song, right? Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Susan. Here's a song that's very personal to me. It's called "Survival is Success." "We are always taken care of," said my sister when our dad died. "When we all are able, we gather and we survive. It seems like last year I lost a lot, although I gained knowledge too. And all my friends at church still love me. I hear God sing and play through you. In our lifetime we will journey in circumstances unexpected. We can call on the light within to cast out darkness, forgiven, forgiven. Taken care of, said the Shaolin priest of Kung Fu. When we all are able, we gather and we survive. In our lifetime we will journey in circumstances unexpected. We can call on the light within to cast out darkness, forgive. In our lifetime we will journey in circumstances unexpected. We can call on the light within to cast out darkness, forgiven. It's forgiven. Forgiven, it's forgiven.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Just what we needed to hear. Survival. We'll talk about that in a bit. Good morning, everybody. I haven't been here in 100 years. Well, it feels that way. Great to have you here. Those of you at home, those of you here, welcome. So glad to have you. So glad. So, the title of my talk today is Free Fall, and it's about falling into the arms of Spirit. And in order to do that, we're going to need to surrender some of our old beliefs and negative patterns of behavior. And it takes a whole lot of courage to do that, because to say, Father, thy will be done, because as humans, we want our will to be done. Maybe God can help a little bit, but it's tough. It's tough, you know? So our human flaws often get us into trouble, right? We get into trouble, we got to get back on track. We've probably heard, we might have even said before, my best thinking got me here, which in other words means my best thinking got me into this mess, right? So then we have to get ourselves out of it, and surrendering to Spirit in our lives, it often feels like giving up control. Well, I don't like to do that. I'm sure I'm not alone. But it may be the only way out of a messy situation. So question, where does God fit in your life? And our childhood understanding of God plays a big part for a big part of our lives, of our understanding of God and how we view God and use God. And yet, a lot of us are studying, reading, taking classes, praying, doing what we can to grow spiritually and to figure things out in a different way. But I would say that most of us rely on our own human knowledge for the most part to get through life, especially when we're younger, right? But as we grow, we start to learn that we don't know everything. We thought we did. We thought we could get by. We thought we could do all the things that we need to do. But our humanity, the human part of us is limited. So when we were younger, a lot of us were very task-oriented, made decisions, got things done, had a plan, did great, and maybe the only times we turned to God were when we were like having our 911 problems and saying, help me, and then we go back to doing things on our own. We've been taught that using our minds and our brains is the preferable goal. And there's nothing wrong with that. We are given these bodies, these minds, but we usually need more. So there are many, many people that become very successful in life using their humanity, their brains, their knowledge, their study of things, and they do very well. And then there are other people that just can't seem to get it together for whatever reason, and they just kind of flounder. And so, looking around the world at our country, at the world, at our cities, at people in general, at the extremes, sometimes we say, where is God? Where is God in this lifetime? Why do bad things happen to good people? I've certainly asked that question myself. Why are some people successful and other people just seem to fail? So that's where it gets to be important to look at some of our old beliefs and maybe leave some of the baggage behind, some of the things that we thought were right, we thought were helpful, we thought would get us through. We need to perhaps drop some of those things. We still can and should use our own brains and our own humanity, but when we combine it along with the divinity that we are, that many of us may not realize, fully human, fully divine. When we start using that together, things change. So most of us, I would guess that are especially that are here, grew up reading the New Testament, learning reading all the stories about Jesus, how the Mary conceived Jesus, his birth, going through the growth of growing in wisdom and knowledge up to the time he was 12, when he was way ahead of himself. And then there's a period of time where we don't hear much about Jesus until he was baptized by John. And then he went out in the desert for 40 days and had his temptations, and then his ministry started. So his public ministry, where people were able to see and hear and do things, where he did many, many miracles. He shared his message of hope, and turning water into wine was his first miracle. That's kind of cool, right? And then the fish, when the apostles were out fishing all night and they didn't get anything, and he said, but throw the nets over here. They got all the fish. It was like, how did that happen? How he fed the 5,000 when all the people were following him with, bread and fish. He healed the sick, helped the crippled, raised the dead. He did all of these miracles. He showed the love of the Father through the prodigal son when he just, he had gone to the faraway country, whether it was physical or in emotional. He showed how much the Father loves us. He was obviously expected, or was called, the Messiah. And many people at the time thought he was going to be a radical and come in on a white horse and save the oppressed people from the Romans. But that wasn't his mission. And obviously, a lot of people got disillusioned because of that. And some just went away. But after Jesus went through all the things that he did, his death, his resurrection, his ascension, then of course the apostles were empowered to continue the work that Jesus did with the healings and the miracles. And it wasn't just the apostles. Many, many people spread out over that part of the world doing the work that Jesus did. But it didn't last. For whatever reason, I have my own beliefs about the churches that popped up and the political things that were going on. And it seemed like, for whatever reason, at some point, the churches got the people to believe that they needed to be told what to do. And people were very willing to say, okay, tell me. And they obeyed the laws. But Jesus came to teach us about love, and he came to teach us how to live. And he healed others, and he lifted them up. And in Matthew 11:28, he says, "Come to me, all you who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Jesus told us when he left, "I am with you always. You can always call on me." Now we say, well, he was a man, but now it seems that everybody has him, of course, on a pedestal. He's divine, we're human, and we can't do things, but Jesus can do things for us. Okay, let's look at Matthew 5:14, when Jesus said to us while he was here, "You are indeed the light of the world." The light of the world. You, me. The light of the world? What does that mean? He was really teaching us how to do the things that he did while he was here on earth. Some people understood it, some people didn't get it. Let's look at John 14:12, where he said, "Truly, truly, I say to you, he who believes in me shall do the works which I do, and even greater than these shall he do, because I'm going to the Father." How do we do that? How do we do that? Well, a simple answer, but not an explanation, is that we start identifying more with the Spirit within us than with our humanity. But first we have to recognize that the Spirit of God is within the very fiber of our being. It's not like a person, but in our very cells, in our very tissues, in our very organism, the power of divinity is within us as we learn how to use this, how to understand it. And most of the times our human brains can't understand it, but that's okay. If we are willing to take time to pray, to do the things that we're going to be talking about, we'll get it. We may not be able to verbalize it or explain it, but we will be able to use that power to make our lives differently. Our intellect tells us that we know what we need to do and we know why we do it. But I have a story to tell you that shows that may not be so true. So there was a farmer that used to till his field with his horse. Well, the horse escaped one day. And so his neighbors came over and said, "Oh, man, I'm so sorry. What bad luck you had." And the farmer said, "Well, good luck, bad luck, who knows? So a week later, this horse comes back with a whole herd of wild horses. So the neighbors came over and they were congratulating him. Oh, great job. You've got all these horses. That's such good luck. And again, he said, well, good luck, bad luck, who knows? So his son was out trying to tame one of these wild horses. And while he was doing that, he got thrown off the horse and he broke his leg. Neighbors said, oh man, what bad luck. And again, the farmer goes, who knows? Who knows? So within a week or so, the army came through their town and got all the young men to take them off to war, to fight. But because his son had a broken leg, he couldn't go. So again, there you go, the good luck, bad luck. But the truth is, when things happen, we don't know the ramifications of what's going to happen or why it happened or what the future can hold. The best thing we can do is remain calm in what appears to be crisis. Not the easiest thing to do, but as we learn how to do that, as we learn how to trust that inner guidance within us, the inner guidance that is God itself, then we get guidance, we get inklings. We won't probably get the whole big picture of a situation or obviously our life, but we will get the next best thing that we can do if we're willing to take the time and listen. Now, my guess is that all of you have seen Groundhog Day at least once in your life, maybe more. It was on just recently, and we were just laughing so hard. But the big story behind that movie is a truth. No matter what is in front of us, if we don't learn our lesson when it shows up, we'll get to do it again because it keeps coming back. Because we have things that each of us are here to learn. And it probably won't look the same each time it comes back. But, I've sometimes looked back on things and said, man, I really missed that. I wish I had paid attention. No worries. I'll get another chance. You'll get another chance. That's how life is. So, and it's tough because as our human people that we are, we want to be right. We want to do things correctly. We want to, if we're into helping people, we want to help people. We want to say the right prayers. We want to lead them with beautiful words. We want to help other people. But we don't always know, or probably a better way to say it, we never know what's best for people. And I've gotten to the point, I've got kids, some of you have kids or people that you pray for all the time. Instead of, if they have a prayer request for something specific, I will ask for that, and then I'll just turn it over to Spirit. And typically, I'll say the prayer for protection for them. And that way, all of us know that beautiful, beautiful prayer. We don't have to know what's best for them. We just pray and let it go. So Charles Fillmore said this about prayer. He said, the highest form of prayer is to open our mind and quietly realize that the one omnipresent intelligence, which is God, knows our thoughts and instantly answers, even before we have audibly expressed our desires. This being true, we should ask and at the same time give thanks that we have already received it. So we don't need, when I was younger, my prayers were, oh, please, God, please, please, please. We don't need to do that. We ask We thank, we rest, we let it be, and we watch what happens, and we follow the guidance that we are given in the midst of whatever's going on. Because the truth is, the prayers have already been answered. We just may not know what that looks like. So in 1 Corinthians 12, 21 and 25, Paul says this, the eye cannot say to the hand, I have no need of you, nor can the head say to the feet, I have no need of you, that there may be no discord in the body, but that they may care one for another. All members should be equal. Now that can be taken in a number of ways within our own body. It's like, sometimes we think, certain parts of our body are more important than others, or we need to take better care, or it may mean the body of people that are living in this world to be able to come together and work together. It's so easy to make a judgment when we look at somebody and say, well, what are they doing? Or blah, blah, blah. Hopefully, we're letting those things go. But we're here to notice, to observe, to look past what we see, because sometimes what we see is pretty bad, and know that underneath all that we see is a Christ being that may be covered up so much that we can't see it. But if we can hold an image of others, even for just a few moments, that they are more than what is showing up, we can actually help draw that out of other people without a word being said. I've been a person of many words, probably have noticed that my whole lifetime. But I'm learning that we don't need to use as many words. Paul and I have been married almost 20 years now. And the best part about this is this was our second marriage. We've been through all the really hard stuff when we were young. And so what has happened is many times, life is just so easy with him. I don't even, if I would rather him do this or that, I probably won't say it unless it's a big deal to me, but I might think it. I might think it and send it to him. And I'm telling you, most of the time, there's a response. Hey, would you rather do this? Yeah, that'd be nice. I could have asked. It's not a big deal, but it wasn't a big deal. So the point being, we are very powerful people. Most of us aren't willing to even acknowledge that because we're used to perhaps being told what to do, or feeling victim-y, or feeling like we've been beat up by life itself. There's a way out of this. We are here to build each other up. We are here to lift each other up by mostly our hearts, by our thoughts, by our prayers, and by our words if it's necessary. Build your faith by moving from identifying more with the humanity that we are. And there's nothing wrong with that. We are human. We are divine. But start identifying more with the spirit that is in the very fiber of our being. And instead of automatically reacting, to stop a minute, even just a moment, and say, what's the best thing? Is this the best thing? Is there something different? Or whatever occurs to you. And we don't have to understand it. We just need to follow it. So God is taking care of your smallest need and your greatest desires. There is no place no space, no time that God is not in action for your good. I want to repeat that. There is no space, no place, no time when God is not in action with your good. Now, some of you heard Bob last week that Paul and I have been in New York. And so we were driving to the airport, and I have to explain New York a little bit because it's different from Florida. Just saying. On the highways, when you drive on the highways of New York, at least the ones that we had to drive on, you can go 30 miles without seeing a road sign, without seeing a gas station or an eatery. You see trees. It's beautiful. Lakes, beautiful scenery, but it's like, I thought we were going to stop and get lunch. Well, there is no lunch on the way. So we were driving, and for some silly reason, I thought of a woman that I used to work with 30 years ago. And I worked for surgeons, and I knew that Sandy had worked for a doctor, a different doctor than was in our practice, and I was trying to remember his name. Not a big deal. I thought, I couldn't remember it. And I thought, well, I'll text Sandy when I get home, or I'll call her. Within 3 minutes, I am not kidding, there was a sign on the side of the road, Ballard Road. It's Dr. Ballard. Is that weird, right? It wasn't a big deal, but there it was. There was the answer. So it's a reminder of the one mind that we are all part of, the one mind of God. And most of the time we don't even, I never knew anything about that for years, but it's not something we can make happen. It's not something we can figure out. It's something we allow ourselves to slip into the truth of who we are, if we're willing. So, we're going to the airport, right? We're heading home last Wednesday. So we had great trips, visited family. We stopped to get gas to fill up the car. We're 2 minutes away from the airport. And we got T-boned. What? Did you say something? T-boned on Paul's side of the car. We had a huge, big old car. We got smashed in the car. The car was totaled. The airbags were deployed. It was very scary. One of the scariest parts were we couldn't open the doors to get out. But within minutes, people showed up to help. People stopped. They called rescue, fire trucks, ambulance, police are there. Minutes. They had to literally cut the airbags out before they could open the doors for us. It was pretty scary. In the moments of fear and panic, truly, many blessings showed up. Like I said, the emergency vehicles showed up. We had a flight to make, right? We made it with lots of time to share. 2 police cars took us to the airport. One took us and one took our luggage. They had to get permission, but they took us to the airport. We got there. Neither one of us or the other person were hardly injured. We got a couple of bruises and marks that I could have gotten from home, but it might have been from the accident. I don't know. We got checked out. We were not harmed hardly at all, except our emotions. That was rough. On the plane, once we get on the plane, of course, we're still kind of shaken all the way home, a couple-hour flight home. It was Wednesday, so it's our Zoom class night. It's in the afternoon. And we looked at each other and said, we can't have class. It's just too much. Let's cancel it. Okay, we'll cancel it. Nope, we need the class. We need the class. We need to go to class for us. And so we did have class. And it was amazing because when you keep going, when you turn to Spirit, all the way in the airplane, Paul and I have committed a number of affirmations to memory. For this very reason, not really for this reason, but we just kept in our own, space, repeating over and over and over the affirmations that we had committed to memory, and then we'd talk a little bit, and then I'd cry some more, and so by the time we got home, we were ready for our class, and we needed them as much as they said they needed us. So just as a reminder, no matter what you go through, no matter if it's horrible and scary, when you look for blessings, you will find them. Have I missed any of the blessings that I have to tell you, I still shake a little bit. All the emotions are not gone yet, but we're processing, I'm processing, we're getting rid of that stuff because it's part of the humanity that we are, that we deal with this stuff. We can't just ignore it. But when we are looking for something beautiful, we can fall into the loving, sacred arms of Spirit. Didn't think I'd do that. Oh, when we choose to. So, have a couple of recommendations for you. I am a student of Reverend Marshall, as you know. First of all, deliberately take the upper hand in life. We are not victims. Did it feel like we were victims for a while? Yeah, it did, but we didn't stay there. We are not victims. God is in this and every experience in our lives. Recenter with the Spirit within, and then do what you're asked to do. Consistently turn everything to good. Declare only good can come out of every situation. Claim it. Look for the blessings. There are always blessings. Trust and declare God's plan for good for you. God only wants good for us. We can accept it, we can look for it, or we can stay in the mire. Don't stay in the mire. Now I have a challenge for you. Some of you may not need this challenge, but I'm going to offer it to you if you do. If you don't already have a regular daily prayer meditation routine, I encourage you to start one for at least 30 days. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you want. I'm telling you, it will change your life. Now, there are times when we go into meditation and I come out and say, that was a waste of time because my mind never stopped. It's never a waste of time. You will be blessed. So if you haven't gotten into this pattern, I really encourage you to do so. It is so valuable. And you've heard us use the terms before, being prayed up. If we had not been prayed up when that accident happened, it would have been really bad. So, challenge. You ready to take it? And then the last one, I have recorded the prayer that I'm about to read to you I have recorded it on my phone, and I listen to it. And I encourage you, if you have affirmations or prayers or something that means a lot to you, record it and play it back. There is something magical about hearing your own voice pray for yourself. Offer the affirmation, offer a prayer. It is, I would say it's life-changing. And you don't, just as a reminder about affirmations, we don't use affirmations to convince ourselves of something. We use the affirmations to bring out from within us the truth of who we already are. And as we start using them over and over and over, then we truly begin to believe them. We truly know that is who we are. That we are so much more than our humanity. And so I encourage you that. If you don't know how to use your phone like that, get a kid to help you. Because they know how to do it. But it's really something special to hear your own voice. It's very emotional. Is emotional for me. So now what I want to do, and this prayer is a handout, and it's also on the lesson notes. It's by Reverend Mary Kupferle. For some reason, I had never heard of Mary. She used to be in the church in Delray Beach. And this woman, since they said like 1944, used to write for the Daily Word and Unity Magazine, and was quite known as a healer of sorts. And I have a friend that speaks down at that church, and she told us that they won't hire anybody permanently until they're as good as Mary Kupferle. Reverend Mary Kupferle. So they probably won't get anybody soon. But what, instead of, don't think I asked Linda to put it up. I would like you, if you're willing to close your eyes and listen to the words, because the words in this prayer describe God in a way that I had never really thought of before. So, if you will, close your eyes. And this is a healing prayer for emotions, physical, mental, whatever you need. My healing is right here. It is in the air that I breathe, the surrounding I see. It fills this space, and it lives within my heart. It is in the light of day and in the darkness of night. It is in the clouds and in the sunshine. It is in the cells and atoms of my body temple. It is in the movement of my mind and in the activity about me. My healing is at hand. It is nearer than breathing, closer than hands and feet. It is all present and ever available, abundant and plentiful. It is here right now, wherever I am. It is mine without stint, mine without pleading or begging. It is mine to quietly accept, to bring me peace, assurance, and blessings beyond measure. Its source is divine, and that source never runs dry, never is lacking, never withholds, never denies. It is the same yesterday, today, tomorrow, and forever. It is within me every moment. I praise and give thanks for this reality. And so it is. Amen. And now let's continue with this stillness as Brian plays music and we move into meditation. So as you listen to the music, as you listen to my voice, I want you to hear there is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God the good, omnipotent. So I want you to imagine that you are soaring like an eagle, flying above the earth, above the cares, above the worries, leaving all that behind for now. And as we are soaring and allowing fear, doubt, worry, concern to just drop away, and imagine you are just floating, soaring, seeing from a different vantage point, being open and willing to receive the good that is yours, that is mine. I am willing, Father. I am willing. I accept. I am unattached to anything that holds me down. I'm beginning to see, to feel, to know that I am the light of the world. That I am so much more than just my humanity. That the spirit within me is so magnificent. And the access that we have to that one mind to know, to be, to do. Without even understanding how. I have wings of faith to lift me higher. I know that the God that is in the very fiber of my being is lifting me up. No matter where I am, no matter what I have to go through, no matter how difficult or happy, I am never alone. You are with me always. Intertwined with our humanity so much we can't tell the difference at times. Peace is restored. Love is restored. Even if just for a few moments. We accept. We are willing. Yes. Our hearts are free. We know that we are never, never alone. That the spirit, that ever-present vibration of unconditional love is always within us, acting through us, as us, with others. I am free. I am free like the eagle that soars above the mountaintop. That can just not even have to flap their wings, but just float on the breeze of spirit. So as we allow ourselves to feel this for these moments, we come back here. We come back here as often as we need, as often as we can, to remember who we truly are, one with God and all creation. And so with gratitude that wells up from within us so deeply, we say thank you. Thank you. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Will the usher come forward to take our offering now, please? And so we thank you for being here. Those of you that are here, it is just so wonderful to have people here, and we can feel your presence at home. Honestly, we are so pleased that you're with us. You keep us going in many, many ways. You support us financially and emotionally and in lots of other ways. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You at home, we've told you before, we'll say again, you can go online after we're done here and give an offering on PayPal or credit card or mail a check in. Again, thank you so much. You make a difference. And then together, let us say the blessing prayer that is on the screen together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and believe. Receive. Amen. Thank you, God. Brian.
Thank you, Rev Ronnie. And geez, how did I get the perfect song for this one? It's called All the Good Goes On and On. When I'm singing, I hear a melody here within me. I feel an energy, yeah. And all the good goes on and on and on. Vibration all around me, light within me, working through me. When I call on you, you bring me to the light. When I'm working, you're watching over me. When I'm writing, you write the words for me, yeah. And all the good goes on and on and on. Vibration all around me, light within me, working through me. When I call on you, you bring me to the light. When I feel I'm going under, when I hear those claps of thunder, when my doubts lead me to wonder, I just call on you and I feel your hand set me on the path of splendor. When you come through me, I feel your guiding light. You shine it through me, helping me to feel alright. And all the good goes on and on and on. Vibration all around me, light within me, working through me. When I call on you, you bring me to the light, and all the good goes on and on and on. Vibration all around me, light within me, working through me. When I I call on you, you bring me to the light. All around me, light within me, working through me. When I call on you, you bring me to the light. When I call on you, you bring me to the light. When I call on you, you bring me to the light.
Couldn't have been more perfect. Thank you. Brian always gets them. He always does. Yes, you do. Spirit. So, have a good week. Be safe. Reverend Bob and Patty are off doing their thing. Next week, Bob's talk is Living in the Light. So you get to choose some more light stuff. Meyer Hall is open, of course, as you guys know, till 1. I also want to let you know that the prayer chaplains have reinstated something that we did years ago, and now we're bringing it back, and that is our prayer time at night. At 8 o'clock every night, we set our phones or whatever, and we take 5, 10, 15 minutes to pray for each other, to pray for whatever we want. So if you want to join us, Charles and Myrtle used to do that years ago when they first started Unity. They probably had a different time, but 8 works best for us. If you think about it, and if it's 9 o'clock, it doesn't matter, but join us in prayer, and as we do that, we will lift the world up. So with that, let us stand. And we will say the prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a wonderful week. Thank you.